Get our particle shields back online. I want those fighters out of our hair now. Tell the crew to prepare themselves for an emergency reality shift. Commander Fielder shouted order after order as the ship took yet another barrage from the enemy artillery, followed closely by a wave of Mage flame torpedoes. The ship's engines went silent and unresponsive. The Terrans had set up magic-dispelling fields all over the area to stop their escape. Most of the Yavar's ship's weapons had failed or been destroyed. The battle was lost, and they knew it. Curse it all. They've disabled most of our systems. Nothing we can do. All troops stand down and cease fire. Sorry, everyone, but there's no other choice now. We're surrendering. The remaining ship-wide defensive systems powered down. All that was left to do now was to wait for the Terrans to begin the boarding and capture process. It was obvious the war would not be in the favor of the Yavar. Why the governor had even considered going to war against the Terrans was beyond him. In retrospect, it was clear they had never stood a chance. The Yavar would fall swiftly to the might of the Terran Mage fleet. Of all the civilizations in the known realities, the Terrans were the youngest to reach not only the stars, but the multiverse. They had unlocked many forms of magic early in the development, and alongside their already insane technological achievements, had become an incredibly formidable foe. A civilization with such prowess for engineering and magic was the type only found once in 1,000 realities. The Terran Mage fleet had approached the now disabled ship and began the boarding process. The commander ordered his crew not to resist. At worst, they would all be sent to correctional facilities on Terran systems, and at best he would beg to have the crew pardoned in exchange for a life sentence. A breaching spell caved in the plating on the reinforced core steel doors. 2 more of those, and the door to the bridge had been removed in its entirety. The commander remained calm in his seat as the Terran mages entered the bridge. A body collapsed at the front of the bridge. One of the weapons technicians had taken the easy way out. Coward. The commander muttered under his breath. "Surrender! Drop all your weapons!" shouted one of the Terran boarding crew. They were very tall and had pointy ears pointing out the sides of their helmet. An elf, one of the Terran subspecies with an incredible disposition to elemental magic, and the blue badge on his chest confirmed it. Another soldier near him also had a similar badge, although his was of a dark red coloring, signaling expertise in artillery and explosives. This one was on the shorter side, with an abundance of facial hair. Another subspecies they called dwarves. He was also probably the one responsible for the removal of the door. The third soldier to enter had a more standard appearance. His badge, however, showed that he was of higher ranking than the other two. Most likely, he was the commander of the enemy ship. "Commander Fielder of the Yavar Mage fleet, you are now under arrest. Your ship and crew will be taken to the Akavir system to serve time in our military correctional facilities," the human announced. It was a fair punishment, but he would not allow his crew to serve time for merely following orders. "Terran Commander, I understand that we are to be taken to one of your systems for trial. I must ask, however, that you request minimal punishment for my crew. They were only following orders. If that means extending my own sentence, then so be it." "Calm down, Commander. No need to worry. We Terrans understand the situation. We've had our own fair share of greedy asshats who bit off more than they could chew. Your crew will at most only spend a short time in prison. As soon as the war is over, you'll all be free to go." Magic restraints were placed on all who surrendered, and they were taken to the Terran courts to be judged. The Terran Mage fleet made short work of the Yavar's own fleet, with their combination of magic and technology. It also helped that the Yavar civilians had disrupted logistics by starting an open rebellion against the governor, who had waged a war he couldn't win for the sake of his own wealth. The defeat of the Yavar government was complete before anyone could process what had happened, and a few days later an official declaration of admission of the Yavar to the newly formed Terran Confederacy was published, and aid was dispatched to all Yavar worlds. The Terran Mage fleet also ended up contributing greatly to the post-war aid and reconstruction efforts. The war had ended nearly as fast as it started. 3 weeks. That's the total time the crew spent in the Terran prison. That's how long the war had lasted. Fielder had been sentenced to a slightly longer stay than the others, but he had no complaints about it. Soon after his release, he would be awarded several medals for his bravery during the conflict. He would then go on to join the Terran Mage fleet as an artillery magic expert and begin a degree in Terran magic studies. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed your time on the Starseeker. Everything I use for the video is in the description below. If there's a story you want to hear, let me know, and I'll reach out to the author and see if we can make that happen. It's a big universe out there, but remember to look up and seek the stars.